Well, welcome to A Better Minute, part of A Better Conversation. I'm joined here today by Aron. We're at a Fred Tate campaign event. Aron, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, Chris.
So would you mind telling us a little bit about what brought you out to the event tonight?
I've known Fred for, around 6 or 7 years, and I think he's a stand-up guy. I appreciate that he's willing to speak up. I trust that even in a room where it might not be popular to voice dissent or to point out unpopular or inconvenient facts, I could trust him to do that. That if there's an issue to be raised, I think he'll do it, and that I think he'll do so trying to look toward what the long-term best things are for that organization, those people. So I wanted to come out and support him because I believe he's going to be a great representative for our district if he gets elected in the Senate. And, so yeah, that's why I came out.
So are those characteristics that you generally look for in a candidate, or is that just something you think particularly attracts you to Fred?
Well, I think it attracts me to Fred because it's rare. I would like to see that in all candidates, right? I think we live in an age where people shy away from real conversations and real facts and the idea that if I have an idea, I should be able to lay out a defense for it that's convincing. And conversely, if I can't, maybe I shouldn't make that assertion. Right? Much of our politics no longer is based in logic and reason and being able to call a stupid idea stupid. It's a lot of virtue signaling and posturing and politicking of the worst kind. So I like the way Fred works because I think it's more in that ideal style of trying to seek the best solution for things.
What advice would you have to the political world, candidates, something like that, about how to move from attacking people to having campaigns be more focused on debating ideas?
I don't know if there's a great solution for that because the problem that you run into is if you have good ideas, you have no problem talking on the merits. If you have bad ideas, you're going to shy away from direct confrontation, kind of like if you apply warfare analogies to the idea of the war of ideas. If I have a better, more well-equipped army and you have a worse one, you don't want a direct confrontation because you'll lose. You're going to resort to guerrilla tactics and indirect warfare. I think people on the left, a lot of times, and people with worse ideas, whether they're on the left or right, a lot of times will shy away from direct confrontation on the merits because they know deep down they can't win that debate.
Now, before we sat down here, you kind of shared with me that you're a business owner. When you're looking at a campaign, does being a business owner change the way that you view races, or are there another set of values that it sort of generally guide you?
I don't think being a business owner necessarily changed it a whole lot. I mean, I probably pay attention to a couple of the niche issues that business owners face, like personal property tax rendition from the counties. But I would say my values are generally centered around the fact that I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe the values within the Bible are the best way to organize a society. And I think the founders of our nation organized it that way, and we've just slowly chipped away at that. So I think as much as candidates can get back to those values properly applied, I think that'll be better for us in the long run as a nation.
How, and it's not necessarily going out and being a disciple or bringing people to the faith, but how would you talk to people that you're trying to at least convince to vote for your candidate that are non-believers? How do you go about addressing some of those Christian values with them?
How long can I? You said this is a minute, so.
Oh, it's called A Better Minute, but I promise you, producer Kyle finds all sorts of stories.
You'll be able to clip it up. Okay. So I think if you can present a compelling vision that doesn't require belief in Jesus Christ, then that's how you get them over. And I think you can do that because I think part of the reason that being a Christian is compelling is not just I believe in God and I believe in Jesus. Those are conclusions. So I think you have to peel it back to what's the underlying vision of what does a Christ-like life look like? What does it mean to follow him well? And if you lay out the vision of what that looks like in society, of these are the kinds of people that we want to build and the kind of society we want to build, that's compelling to people on its own, just on the merits.
Totally agree. Like, this is God's creation. Living a Christ-like life, living with Christian values does work in his creation.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things that like the left tries to twist science and pit a war between Christianity and science, which like, not dummies. Like science is just explaining how God did it, right? I mean, that was the whole point when we first started really focusing on the fact that there are universal observable truths goes back to that sort of Christian bedrock, or arguably Judeo-Christian bedrock, but you know, same God. So, okay. With regard to, you know, upcoming races in Texas or maybe Fred's race, stuff here in Tarrant County, is there anything that you're particularly focused on?
I would say no, sadly. I've been kind of distracted this last year with some personal issues, and so I've not had a chance to really stay abreast of the different races that are going on. I'm interested in Fred's race. I also know Andy Shu from a brief conversation that I had with him. I'll most likely be voting for him. I thought was a very reasonable judge in terms of how he looked at family law, so. But other than that, I can't speak to any other specific races.
No, that's fine. I mean, that's part of being a voter and not being somebody that's obsessed with politics, right? Politics becomes such a hobby for people like maybe me that, you know, it's good to have that overall perspective that you don't have to be thinking about it all the time. Is there anything, you know, that you're working on right now, like community wise or something else that you're interested in politics that you'd like to share with our audience?
Oh, I'd say I can't think of anything specific community-wise. I think in the future, you know, right now I've been pondering for the last year, and this kind of goes to one of your earlier questions about this idea of households and covenants and how to communicate those to a broader audience in a way that's compelling. Because I think America was built, when people say that the family unit is the backbone of civilization or the backbone of America or the backbone of whatever society you want to say. I think even the people that are saying it don't actually understand to what degree that is true and how fully that needs to be expressed. You know, so I've been pondering things like that and figuring out how I can find people with like-minded views with that and how we can explore those deeper and but there's nothing specific to plug with that.
No, no, that's fine. On our last episode of our podcast, we talked a little bit about like the American dream and somewhat about how with Gen Z voters, with Trump voters, you saw having a family, having a wife, having children as being much more important to having a successful life versus Kamala voters. Like for women, having children, like young women, Kamala voters, having children was the bottom of the list on what it is to have a successful life. So,
yeah, which means they'll die out. So that's great for us. I mean, really, every Western nation is below replacement rate of birth. You can look that up.
Well, the political right Christians got to get their, you know, working gear, 4, 5, and 6 kids. So
yes, that's a problem right now. I think feminism and secularism have actually infected the church to a much greater degree than people realize. Because within the church, there's not that much differentiation between the left and the right, from what I've seen. And there are people that are shy away from having kids and have below replacement rate population of kids. I think the more people can have 4, 5, 6 plus kids, the better.
Absolutely. Well, Aron, thanks for joining us. Enjoyed talking with you.
You as well.